Have you pressed record this time?
I press record this time.
Benelli Tornado. Benelli Tornado.
The Benelli Tornado has 3 fans. 2 at the rear and him.
They were so cheap at one point.
They were. They still are.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
No. Some wants like 15 grand for one. And they were 1,500 quid 5 years ago. I mean, it brings us on already into one of our topics, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome back. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Well, your hair's grown.
Yes, yeah. Sorry. I was due in for a salon appointment this morning, but she lunched me out.
She lunched you out.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been a while. It's been since Christmas, so we thought we'd bring you up to date. It's been 3 months, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching.
Was it Christmas?
It was
Was it
Christmas.
even before that? Wasn't it Preston was the last one?
We did a
wasn't
Christmas news.
it?
We did, yeah.
Well, welcome to the news. So, what's we? I mean, there's a lot to talk about.
There's lots to talk about, yeah.
Where should we start?
Well, I think we should start, Chris. I mean, this is a shameless plug. The Budget Bike Battle 7 bikes. We haven't had much of a bite on them, but then again, we haven't really promoted them. So you can win these bikes for just 99 pence. That is 1p under a pound. It's less than a pound.
So let's just rewind a second.
Okay.
So obviously, Budget by Battle 7, wildly successful.
Yeah.
Best thing we've ever done.
Yeah.
The bikes, we were like, how are we going to sell these? What should we do? And we're going to do a giveaway, effectively a raffle, 99p, and there'll be a link in the description below on how to do it. So the key takeaway, because let's face it, there's not going to be many posters on boys' walls of these bikes.
No.
However, there might be some posters of the ladies on the walls, because
That's the big news. Go on, hit them with it, Chris.
the ladies are coming with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're running this competition with Apex 66.
It's a lot easier. Well, we can't do it. We don't have the
we haven't got
legalities,
license and insurance and everything
gambling
like that.
things.
Yeah. So the fine folk there are doing it, and yes, you can win these bikes for just 99p. And also, there's also another key takeaway from this. All the money and all the proceeds goes, obviously we need the money back from the bikes, but which is going to go straight back into Budget Bike Battle 8, which, what's going on this year, Chris? Is it quite a big year for us, isn't it?
It's our 10th anniversary.
We've been doing this, we've been blagging it for 10 years.
I know. And I'm both really proud and impressed with that, but yet also really disappointed. But just going back to the bikes, the other key takeaway is that if you don't want the bikes, you can win a cash alternative.
Yes.
Because it's actually, by the time someone has to come and pick them up,
Oh, don't put them off, Chris. You can win these bikes and the girls for 99p.
it's like a lot. It's like, yeah, but it's a lotto scratch card.
It
Isn't
is. It is, but the odds are very,
This
very
time
good
it's
at the moment.
and it's a scratch and sniff this time.
Yeah, scratch and
Proper one.
poke. Yeah. Oh,
And the girls, by the way, they were probably more expensive than the
they
bikes.
were. Yeah.
I mean, just for legality's sake, I wouldn't put any of my appendages inside
Back inside.
their
Holes.
things. Anyway,
And her fanny was wetter than Stevie Wonder's toilet seat.
I reckon he sits down to pee.
It's a safe option, isn't it?
Definitely. Let's get on. Go and buy him.
Link
Win
in the
'em.
description, please.
I mean, the RT would have sold on its own, but I don't think anyone's going to want to buy the Honda.
Well, you say that, Chris. The sales don't reflect that at the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I don't think that's true at all. Right, so what's up next in our hilarious roller coaster of information and entertainment?
Well, Chris, I thought we could talk about some insurance hotspots.
Yeah, I mean, the world of insurance, it's not fun, is it?
No.
No, but let's poke light at the accidents that happen. So, what we've got here is, I'll just bring it up on the old internet machine. I wouldn't do that because the microphones, they'll rumble. So we're talking about accident hotspots. So,
Accident or theft? Everything.
accident. Insurance claim hotspots.
Oh, I see. So it's not thefts.
No,
Oh, right. Okay.
no. It's accidents, crashes. Well, it could be a theft included in it as well. And it's technically all vehicles. So motorcycles will be
Right.
included within
Yeah.
that. I mean, shall I just go straight in with...
I want to say London.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong.
Okay.
You're not wrong. In fact, you're so not wrong
Yeah.
that London isn't categorised just as London. It's all the boroughs of London.
Hey, go on, hit me with some stats, then go on.
8 out of the top 10 in the whole UK.
Sorry, it's not funny. Sorry.
Yeah, 8 of these accident insurance hotspots out of the entire UK are London boroughs. Number 1 being Westminster.
Wow.
And it was because it's done per capita of the person that lives there. But actually, Westminster, I know it's a busy city, but not many people live there. It's like transient Westminster. It's like right in the centre. But still, that tops the charts with collisions per 100,000 people is 602. And then we skip off up the road to Doncaster. Which rallies in there at number 2 with 503 per 100,000.
Wow.
So Doncaster's number 2, and then we get on to the rest of the London boroughs, basically, which is Kensington and Chelsea in 3rd place, picking up the bronze medal there. And then the only one outside the top 10, which isn't London-based, is Rotherham.
That's where Gary lives, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
That's probably
That's probably why, yeah.
He's probably had, out of the 371, he's probably had 370.
70.
And then the rest of it's Lambeth, Camden, Haringey, Southwark, Tower Hamlets, and Hackney. I mean, no wonder, and this comes back to a wider point, because we get, with our involvement with Bimoto and insurance stuff, that they help us massively with all these stoves. We haven't got a Bimoto in mind.
No, it's quite big, thick.
Yeah. And we get a lot of people saying, they can't, no, insurance companies can't offer me a quote on my bike in London. I'm like, well, that's the reason why. And those are London boroughs. That's not Birmingham or Liverpool. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, Dave, one of our videographers, Dave Baum. Dave!
Danger Dave.
Danger Dave.
That reversed into the coach.
No one knows about that.
Sorry.
He wanted to buy a new Super Duke, but he can't, because he can't get insured. So he's got to keep his 990.
Even saying that, my mate Joe Achilles, he wants to buy a bike now, and he wants to get a GS. Well done, Joe. And
Really?
yeah.
I thought you were better than that, Joe.
Oh, mate, I tell you who else wants to buy a GS. You're never going to guess this one.
Give me a clue.
I'll just say it.
Yeah.
Jack Thompson.
Doesn't surprise me.
He's 30.
Yeah, he's high on roids, isn't he?
But anyway, my point is, he did an insurance quote. He didn't know whether to get an older 1250 or a newer 1300. The new 1300 was double the price of the older 1250 Adventure. Another friend of mine got the quote for, fair enough, he's only had his license 19 months, but he's over 40 and he wants to buy a GS. 6,000 quid. In a rural area. Go fuck yourself. 6,000 quid. No wonder motorcycle sales are on the arsehole. 6,000
But they're
quid.
not, Chris. But they're not, which is a brilliant segue into our next. Unless you have something else to say on it.
No.
A brilliant segue. There's no even need for a little din news beat. It's just straight into this.
Okay, well, stop ruining the flow.
Well, motorcycle sales.
You're like a tampon.
Motorcycle sales, Chris, aren't on their arse. In fact, they're not at all on their arse.
Okay.
The MCIA have released the stats, and last year, 2023, there was 113,500 motorcycles sold in the UK. And obviously, that is 50cc through to
Brand new, yeah.
everything. Brand new bikes.
Because it includes scooters with that as well.
Yeah. But it's down just 2.5% compared to 2022. So it's not.
So it is down.
Yeah, it is. But it's not like you were saying sales are on their arse. It's not at all. They're not at all. And in fact, this year, motorcycle sales are looking very
lower than last year.
This year.
I thought you were going to come up with some amazing, like,
No,
woo,
you were
party.
saying no. Chill out, mate. All right, you come out with the big willy waving motorcycle sales are on their arse. They're not on their arse. 2.5% isn't bad at all. February stats, fresh in, even though we're sort of near the end of March. This is fresh in from the MCIA. Right, what do you reckon was the best-selling motorcycle, like big bike, in February? In February this year.
GS.
Yeah, congratulations. Do you know what the biggest selling? I've messed up here. The biggest selling bike in February was the new MT-07.
Okay, and how many units?
62. Followed by the GS with 61.
So they only sold 61 GSs in February.
Yes.
So that's handover.
Yes. So,
But the MT-07 is
these are registrations.
registrations.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, obviously, everyone's waiting to March. We'll get a better figure. Let's come back to this in March.
The 24 plate.
Yeah, let's come back to this at the end of March, and we'll give you some proper data.
But still, that's the best. This is why it sounds like it's on its arse. Like all this effort, and they sold 58 bikes, and that's the best-selling one in that month.
62 actually.
62.
Yeah.
So
So
out of the whole UK, is that right?
the Honda PCX 125, they sold 309. So 309 Uber Eats riders are really setting the town on their PCX 125s. The best-selling bike between 750 and 1000cc was the GSX-R with a whopping 57 units.
I'm not surprised by that. There was a lot of interest on our videos with that bike.
Yeah.
It's cost-effective, quite good looking, and you with Boothie was on the launch of that, wasn't it? Or was it you?
Boothie.
Boothie, yeah.
No. I was.
You were.
Once again, Honda absolutely railed the best-selling brands. They sold 1,000 bikes, 1,085 bikes, and Yamaha next with 734. BMW third with 377.
See, that still just doesn't seem a lot.
It's the wrong time. It's probably the worst month to buy bikes, isn't it?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
So basically, don't read anything into that whatsoever.
So, another little associated nibble of news. Not even news, it's just building off the back of that. A lot of the comments we've noticed are people complaining about how expensive bikes are.
Yeah, and they dislike our videos because they don't like the price of it.
Yeah. It's too expensive. Sorry, it's not my fault. And just because, and I'll try and put this delicately, just because somebody it's out of their budget, it doesn't mean that it's out of someone else's budget. So you can only afford what you can afford. And that's fair enough. Good, happy, bad, sad, whatever. But this morning I thought, you know what? They are expensive. You think, Superbikes are 25 grand, Super Dukes are 20 grand, R1, it's an R1, 1888 or something like that. So
in 2010, the R1 was the first bike to go over 10 grand. And then 14 years later, you're lucky to get a superbike for under 20 grand.
Yeah, so funny you should say that. So 10 years ago, I went on to the Bank of England's inflation calculator, because it's a very boring answer why bikes are expensive. Yes, there's lots of other factors involved, but actually those factors should be pointing down, like manufacturing costs, all of that stuff is technically going down. So the only other boring answer, really, I'm afraid for you, is inflation. And we'll talk about some key factors in inflation later. However, so the 2012 to 14 R1, so 2014, so 10 years ago,
Yeah,
that was 13,600 quid.
bargain.
So on the Bank of England's interest inflation calculator, if you compare that now to February 2024, that's the latest data they have, the cost of the bike in comparable standards, taking into account of inflation, is £18,725. And do you know how much a brand new R1 is now? Hold the line, caller.
18,800 and something pounds.
Yes. So actually, that example is bang on. That just happened to be the one I was like, yeah, R1s, they've been around for a while. So I'm afraid we can just blame the governments for that and printing all that money. So inflation, I watched a YouTube video. I'm not intelligent enough to be able to relay it accurately, but the general premise was inflation doesn't technically need to exist. It only exists because the printing of money and the devaluing of money, because that's better for certain things and wiping off debts and all that sort of shit, and buying stuff that the government does to give to their mates and go on holiday. So hooray for the government.
Well, I'd just like to congratulate the 21st century Nicholas Witchell over here on his fine investigative journalism.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
A bit of luck more than judgment. I was like, R1, and there we go.
Yeah.
So boring answer, but we are gonna we've got a little feature coming on that which is going to help you understand a little more about why bike prices are so expensive, because unfortunately the high bike prices are creeping into the used market. Have you been on The general shittery that is sales at the moment.
Again, we'll get onto this later, but we've been shopping for budget bike battle weight bikes, and used bike prices are absolutely nuts.
Absolutely nuts. For
Ridiculous.
Absolute shitters as well.
Yeah.
But honestly, in the UK now, I mean, unless you want something really unpopular and incredibly bland, like under 3,000 quid, go home. It's going to be rotten, not working, ruined, 100,000 mile shitter. Unless you really take advantage of someone who needs help, which isn't the moral thing to do. Something's only worth what somebody is willing to pay for it. So therefore, if it's all been dragged up by the price of new bikes, of course used bikes are going to be dragged up with it, because then they're going to use the same comparison. Should I buy a brand new R9T for 17 grand, or should I get an old one for what used to be 6 grand and now is soon to be 8-9? I mean, it does do motorcycling a lot of damage, and then you factor in the insurance costs. People are just like, I'll just take the car, and the fact it hasn't stopped fucking raining for what? It's like being in, what was that film, The Crow, when it just never stopped raining. But that's what you get with geoengineering, isn't it?
Well, Chrissy, I thought we could talk about the most dangerous roads to ride.
This is a study by Vignette Switzerland, which those two words going together fill me with utter hatred. But anyway, you've done the study, and you've analysed the latest data from the European Transport Safety Council. They sound like a right laugh, don't they? Which countries had the highest road deaths per million inhabitants? So, where do you reckon? Oh, have you looked?
No.
Okay, ranking. Where do you reckon? It's Europe.
Europe.
Road deaths.
Italy.
Italy is in the top 10.
Okay.
Just say anything.
Bulgaria.
You get the bronze medal.
Okay.
Bulgaria. Bulgaria was 77.6 per million inhabitants. It's not a lot, is it?
No, it's not.
You think about all of the effort, all of the things that are built, effort in order to reduce road accidents, not to increase money. All of the effort that goes into road safety. 77 out of a million ain't bad, is it? Anyway, number 1 is Romania. So Romania's number 1, then Serbia number 2. Serbia, by the way, is a lovely place to ride a motorcycle, and actually quite friendly. Croatia 4, and then coming into Western Europe, Portugal.
Wow. Okay.
Is number 5.
Where's England?
UK. We are. I mean, it's such a good job that we've spent so much money on road safety, because we are actually the 3rd safest in Europe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe it's all the speed cameras, or maybe we don't need them anymore. I don't know.
And I see the Vignette Switzerland tourist board are putting Switzerland in 28th, I see. The Toblerone-eating twats.
Anyway, that's road deaths.
Right, Chrissy, well, it's on to racing news, and I tell you what, we have a bumper of racing news in store for you, ladies and gentlemen. As you probably would have seen, World Superbikes and MotoGP kicked off already this season. And it's fair to say, let's hit World Superbike first. It's fair to say, World Supers is pretty fucking tasty right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been an advocate. As I've said, I prefer World Superbikes for the last few years. It's just so exciting. I find it so exciting, and I am just. I mean, let's just go back. My best mate, my lover, Top Rack. I am so happy that whatever BMW and him have done is working out, and he's right at the top. And all the naysayers, irrelevant, whatever, let's just be happy that we've got a wide open championship. Because if he can win in Catalonia, which is one of their worst tracks, that is a big red flag to the other teams. Massive. Yeah. And that sprint race, I mean, because the BMWs traditionally run out of tyre, isn't it? That's why it's a problem. But that sprint Super Pole race in Catalonia was non-stop overtaking, crashing, but not even like dangerous driving, just non-stop action. Yeah. And if you haven't seen it yet, I suggest watching the whole thing. Don't watch the highlights because it's not good enough, because there's so much action to get involved in. So, so happy. So happy.
Obviously, shout out to Top Rack and BMW, but also the rules for World Superbikes this year. Although I don't think Ducati like it much, the rules have brought the whole field much closer. I mean, Honda's. That's one thing I am stunned about.
What rule in particular, though, you're talking about?
The weight and the revs and everything else to keep. They just. I mean, whether or not it stays like this, but it must do because the field is so much closer in World Superbikes.
Yeah, but I think but Bautista was injured a lot, wasn't he? He wasn't. He's only just got back onto form. I think he's like Bulliger. Like he's been smashing it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think.
My point is the field is closer. In general, the whole field is closer. It's not just 2 or 3 bikes walking away now.
No, but in the top 10, it is pretty much all the Ducatis still, isn't it?
Yes, but that's my original point.
And a bit of Vandermark.
The field is close. Yeah, exactly, and that goes to show you that how much work BMW have done in getting that bike better. Because if Vandermark was nowhere near. The podium, and he's been sniffing, isn't he? So
yeah, it was really interesting. It depends where you watch TNT Sports or whatever. The Discovery Plus, what's that? TNT? No,
it's all in one bloody big bed at the moment. TNT, Discovery Plus, Eurosport. It's all in. They're all shagging each other, aren't they?
Yeah, I watched some chat, and it was interesting because they were saying that Top Rack, when he was following Vandermark, they would when they were in the garages, they would have a proper conversation, and Top Rack would be like, I'm quicker than you can go quicker through here. You can go quicker through here. I was following you, and they're working together as a really good team. And I know it is the first rule to beat your teammate, isn't it? But but
Top Rack knows that Vandermark's never going to beat him. So
maybe
that's why he's doing it, mate. He's not doing it to be nice.
Well, he was. I mean, in that race too, he was 3 seconds behind him.
Yeah.
Out of a whole 20 whatever lap race. So anyway, it's lovely to see that.
Should we go in with the Crescent news while we're on World Superbikes, or
yeah, go on. Yeah,
should we do that?
Yeah. So this is a bit of a. I suppose we could call it new bike news.
Well, it's exclusive.
Our mates down at Crescent, where we've been building our R1, they have released a Johnny Ray special. There is a winter testing colour and then the World Superbike livery colour, and we're going to go down, hopefully, in a couple of weeks' time to have a nose around, chat to Johnny, and have a little probe. But yeah, the bike is it's pretty well spec'd, road bike.
I don't know how you do that.
Why does it go big? But then it goes too... Fucking hell! But then it goes too small.
And stretch it manually and it will stay there.
That is pathetic.
Oh my God.
You can't stretch it manually.
Welcome to the big world, mate.
But why isn't there... On a PC, there's a button that goes...
I don't give PCs a shit.
But there you go.
Yeah.
They look pretty good. What would you go for?
I'd have the winter test.
You'd have the winter
I'm not
test.
a fan of... I like race reps as long as it's... Like, don't get me wrong. The Patti Yamaha, it's not an ugly bike. However, it's not an iconic race rep that I choose to buy. So yeah, I definitely have the winter. The winter test, it looks good. That looks really good. Yeah.
And Patta snacks generally. It's packet of crisps.
No, big advocate of Patta snacks. Patta popcorn.
No, but you're not going to like. It's not the sexiest thing to have on the side of your bike.
No,
like,
it's not.
Like packet of Quavers on your brand new Honda.
Yeah, knickknacks.
What, Scampy Fries?
That's the British equivalent is Scampy Fries, isn't it? Well, are they Smiths? No, Smiths.
Yeah.
Smiths. Scampy Fries.
No. Oh, that's Fries Turkish Delight. Struggles. He's not having a good time at the moment, is he, Johnny?
No, he hasn't had the best start to the season. No.
Yeah, he quote, "We just can't catch a break." Was one of the media quotes, which is, I mean, look, obviously he's a super talented guy, so I'm sure he's going to get there.
Yeah, and Locker's showing the world that bike is, he's got it working. So when it clicks with Johnny, he spent 7 years, and 6 years, 7 years on a 7 years, 8 years. I don't know, how many bloody years on a Kawasaki? It's going to take a while. So, and of course with testing everything else, you don't get the same freedom to go out and get used to a bike straight away like you used to. So yeah, that guy can ride a bike. So.
Yeah, and we all want to see him up there because we want to see him up there. I mean, the speed of the Yamaha is obviously not great. I think that's one of the big drawbacks. And the Kawasaki seems to be pretty quick this year as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But on to my favourite now, MotoGP. Or have you got something else to go to World Supers?
No.
I'm still a MotoGP fanboy. But don't be wrong. Look, I'm not going to say this is better and not this, but MotoGP is better for me. it's just the elite of the elite. In a similar way, people get really hard with NASCAR, and it's probably a bad example, but it's the stuff that goes on off the track, the technology, everything surrounding MotoGP is where it's at for me. The racing's not as good as World Superbikes, I get that, but the riders, the technology, the bikes, it's just give it to me, baby. And this season hasn't been amazing, but it's still been good racing. It's still been very, very good racing. So
interesting. It's been very
yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
And there's been some standout performances.
Pedro bloody Acosta. What the hell?
Did you think his tyre was going to last to Portsmouth? I was like, what's he doing?
What is he doing? Yeah, what are you doing, mate? Chill out. And then, of course, he comes through. I mean, putting, yourself.
Did you see him when he lost the front and the rear?
Yeah.
In turn one.
You know yourself, how difficult is it to brake even when you're by yourself going into turn one?
Yeah, very difficult.
And he overtook Miller, Brad, Binder, and Marquez into turn one. That guy is going to be unreal. I hope for KTM's sake, or the Pyro Mobility Group's sake, that they tied him down to a long range contract, because that is, he is without doubt the new Doohan, Marquez, Rossi, whatever. He's a kiddie.
Yeah, and obviously we can't talk about MotoGP without Marquez. I mean,
it's good. I love it.
I love it. I'm rooting for it.
Yeah.
And a bit unfortunate at the weekend. Portugal just gone. I don't think it was his fault necessarily. I don't think it was anyone's. It was just one of those. That corner is shit. It is shit.
But I think people need to realise that. And people were getting a little bit angry, rightly so, with Pecco. But what people don't realise is that, and I'm not saying it's okay to take people out, but just a little bit of context here, people. Marquez ran wide, Pecco saw the gap, and when you were on the bike, leaning over at 60 degrees and looking at the track, he's not looking at where Marquez is. He didn't think, I'm guessing, that Marquez would be able to A, hold the line, and B, cut back so soon. So look, it was a racing incident, and I don't think there should be any penalties handed out. It's racing. As soon as you start handing out penalties willy-nilly, it just ruins the whole lot. Look, it's a shame. It's a shame for both of them. I think them losing points, both of them losing points, is enough of punishment. So, but it was coming, wasn't it? They were rubbing each other up. All the mind games have started. The not catastrophe, but the boiling pot is coming at Ducati. You've got all these potential winners on satellite bikes coming to trouble Pecco, and it's gonna happen, and it's already happening in the second round. So it's gonna be brilliant. It's gonna be a brilliant soap opera this year in MotoGP. So,
but yeah, Ducati have almost got too many viable options
for themselves. You mean
for themselves because they're all right up there. So they're taking points off each other.
And Marquez, let's not forget, he's on a 2023 bike as well. So,
yeah.
Whether or not that will help or hinder him as the 24 bikes get dialed in, we don't know. But I think it's just bloody brilliant. While we're on racing, Chris, I picked up a little nugget of information. Of course, Suzuki are racing officially with the CERT team, so they're still using the GSX-R 1000, even though it's not for sale. I think there's 4 or 5 years of homologation.
Not for sale currently.
Currently, no. But we have heard the GSX-R 1000 is coming back, which we'll get onto that another time. But yes, so this little nugget of information came from Suzuki, and it's quite. I don't know. It's amusing and interesting in all the right places. So Suzuki will take part in the 45th edition of the Suzuki 8 Hours. The GSX-R chosen for the competition will be powered by 40% bio-based fuel, which will allow the GSX-R 1000 to be entered in an experimental category where the use of fuels other than the official EWC fuel is permitted. Suzuki, in search of a more sustainable future, has used more renewable materials for the GSX-R 1000. The fairings are made from recycled carbon fibre, the Bridgestone tyres are made from recycled material, and motor engine oil is bio-based, and the mudguard is made from a fibre of natural origin.
What is a fibre of natural origin?
I'm guessing a plant-based. like a
hemp.
Like a hemp or a what the big the wicker like the
Alan Wicker
wicker
basket.
man. Like they're sort of
wicker.
Yeah, I don't know. Wicked.
Now, I've come to the conclusion that when I see the word sustainable anywhere, it means it's a load of fucking shit. And generally, I think that's put me in a pretty good place.
Yeah.
But actually, I'd much prefer to see, we can laugh about it. Oh, it's got hemp fairings or whatever. But actually, I'd much prefer to see developments in biofuels
100%.
and all this shit, rather than digging
bikes.
up lithium and cobalt and making a stupid sound. So it makes a lot of sense. And I think, do you know what the most sustainable? Well, hang on, I'll come to that in a minute. But yeah, so I'm in for that. I like materials, fine, and I think there should be more of it, because the only thing that really is, nothing is sustainable. Nothing is sustainable, and I think it's just a buzzword. There's a fucking new housing estate down there. You drive past, there's a massive billboard that says, "Oh, new houses coming, all sustainably built." They're not.
No, of course they're not.
Like, oh, it's the equivalent of net zero building. Net zero to what? What? Because you've just made a load of UPVC windows and you can plant a couple of trees there. It's not the same thing. Shut the fuck up and just make a good house and let the people who want to buy it because it's a good house in the right location for the right fucking price. Same with a motorbike. And the most sustainable thing to do, particularly with motorcycles, is to keep them. And I think,
is that why you've got 85 bikes in there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but hang on. In 10 years, if we go by what the current rules are, these aren't going to be made, right? You can't buy one. So, but anyway, my point is the politics around it is such a load of shit. And actually, what we need to do is slow down with trying to buy all these, feed everyone new motorcycles. That GSX-R is a fucking wicked bike, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really good bike.
Yeah.
And it's only the final, such a small percentage of people and teams that go, look, we can't be competitive on that bike anymore. We're going to go somewhere else. Because they are dealing with throwing a load of money and trying to win stuff. Fair enough. But for everyone else, it's a banging bike. Use it. Keep it for 5 years. Don't keep changing all this stuff. And I think it's just, So basically, the whole thing is just fucking bollocks. And you should just all buy old bikes. The public aren't stupid anymore. But I think sustainable biofuel, great.
Thank you to those who came to the cinema tour. Again, it was an absolute rager of success. Selling out pretty much every cinema, 10 cinemas across the UK. It was just mind-blowing, very humbling. Just a very, we both loved it, didn't we? Bit of a hectic schedule, but we loved it. You loved it. Apart from that one bloke in London the first night who said we took it too far.
Yeah.
But
I think he was a plant. He was like the equivalent of a real life bot.
Okay, maybe. He didn't look like a 44 teeth man, did he? Really? No. But yeah, so on the back of that, we, as requested, lots of you were asking for some sort of stream or download or DVD. There was lots of DVD questions.
VHS.
VHS, yeah. But so we started a pay-per-view thing on our new platform, 44teeth.tv, and it was another rager of success. So there's lots of people that couldn't come to cinema, or people who are abroad, obviously don't live in the UK. So yes, thank you to you guys.
But they wanted to watch the uncut version.
Yes,
that's the key.
Yes, sorry, I missed that bit.
Yeah, so because obviously we can't put a model on the internet, and actually it is a better film. It's fucking good.
Yeah,
that film.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant. The way it flows, it's got ups, downs. It's genuinely, I know we made it, but it's really, really good. And if you do want to see that, it's still on 44teeth.tv now.
And are we going to put Budget Bike Battle 6 up?
It is already up there.
Is it?
It's just hidden.
Okay.
It's just hidden.
Right.
So actually, by the time you see this, Budget Bike Battle 6 Bavaria cinema version may be on there as a cheapie as well, if you want to come and watch that. But yes, so yeah, thank you massively for the cinema thing. We're planning to go this time, February 2025 will be the cinema ticket.
Yeah, because there was a lot of people disappointed, which is strange because you had a lot of people disappointed that they couldn't get tickets.
Yeah, it's shit.
Sorry.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So there was lots of people messaging us. Oh, can we get tickets? Like, mate, you've had 4 months to buy tickets, and then like you go, oh, there's no tickets left for Birmingham on the Wednesday. It's like, oh, guys, come on. Look, it would have been lovely to put another night on, but it was like that. It was brutal. So we did Monday to Friday, had the weekend off, and then Monday to Friday, and it was just back to back, covering the country. It was proper rock star without the money, and
I mean, the last Friday, after 2 weeks of it, Edinburgh,
Yeah.
10:30 p.m. After packing up everything, doing the show, doing the Q&A, packed everything up, packed the girls away, all the merch stuff. We all drove home down south that night, like 8 hours drive.
Yeah.
Kipped in a servo for 10 seconds.
I did it straight through crew.
Did you?
Yeah. Got back at 5:30.
Oh, for motocross, it was cancelled.
Yeah. Got up 5:30 and packed the van, and then they cancelled the race I was supposed to go to. But we went somewhere else. But anyway. Yeah, brutal.
In fact, let's just cut that bit because it's started to sound like we're. Before we get onto that, there is one more thing.
Oh no, what?
So earlier we did a Q&A and Al said that he could fit 6 cream eggs in his mouth.
Yeah.
So I went down the shops and bought 6 cream eggs.
Say.
And
There is a cab, but let's just tell the whole story.
that is the story.
Yeah, but 6 in my mouth without swallowing.
All right. Well, as it's Easter, come on. We've got smaller. Shall I unwrap a few, but not touch the chocolate? Oh, right, you're allowed to chew them. Oh, you're allowed to.
Yeah.
We'll speed this up. Right, how many is that? 3. That's the third. Wait, I'm gonna get a napkin. Doggy napkin. You're not swallowing, are you? You can't do it, so you're full of shit.
No. I did it. I'm going to ring down this now. I've got it. It's a fucking world record. Nigel, don't swear. You're live on the news TV show. How many mini eggs? How many cream eggs did I fit in my mouth at once? Back in when we shared a house together.
I think it was 6.
Yeah, it was. Thank you. Thank you. Chris doesn't believe me. That's all.
No, well, you just tried to do it again, mate, and he can't even manage 3.
I did 3. I couldn't manage 4. Thank you, mate. Cheers. Bye.
Welcome to Fat Chat. Oh, that reminds me.
What?
As it's Easter.
Oh, fuck off.
Happy Easter to you. Happy
Mate,
Easter.
why-
And this is your favourite mini eggs. And what I'd like to see you do is eat it now.
Why do you show me up every year?
Why don't you fucking bring one next year?
Well, sorry about that. Are we going to bother with the masturbator?
Nah, fuck it. Let's go.
Right. See you later.